This is Rezi handing $4,000 of real-life money to a Skyblock exploiter. Why? There's one simple reason. The exploiter found a duplication glitch. This wasn't just any duplication glitch though. This was an exploit that would work on the pit, where Rezi could create hundreds of thousands of dollars of items within hours. This glitch began in Skyblock, but moved over to the pit. But what actually happened? Well, this is just one of the many entries in the Hypixel Skyblock Iceberg. Join me as we explore everything from the one typo that got more than 2,000 players banned to the dark secret behind Skyblock's most famous glitch hunter. Everyone knows how icebergs work. The lower you go, the more obscure the entries. I expect some of the ones at the top will be well known, but as we go deeper, well, it's scary down there. So, let's get started. Jerry is the guide NPC that spawns on every island, and he might just be the most powerful being in the entire universe. Jerry cannot be killed, no matter what. He brushes off the strongest weapons in the game like they're nothing. He's even immune to the void. If he falls in, he'll use a fraction of his power to teleport back to the top. If there's nowhere to teleport to, he also does not care. Jerry will keep coming back forever, no matter what you do. How did Jerry become this powerful? When we get to layer 4, we'll find out. Dragon Queen. On Skyblock, there are 7 types of dragons, and the strongest is the superior dragon. But it appears that these dragons are only the minions of one that is far older and more powerful. When a superior dragon spawns, it is described as being stronger in every way, and is a direct spawn from the queen. Who is this Dragon Queen, and will Skyblock players ever get the chance to fight her? I don't know. Let's move on to spam bots. IRL trading is a big problem on Skyblock, where players illegally trade coins or other items for real-life money. There are a number of illegal coin shops, and spam bots cropped up in mid-2020 to advertise for them. These are Minecraft accounts that would join random lobbies, invite players to a party, and then advertise coin-selling servers. Since this was inefficient and required people to accept the party invites, some IRL traders publicly messaged their coin shops in the hub. At first, these bots were run with fully open Minecraft accounts, but that was later changed to console clients like OQ Minebot, which allowed multiple accounts to run from a single computer without any user interface, and thus do more advertising with less computing power. At their height, these coin shops were able to attract hundreds of new members per day, but it went downhill after Microsoft's migration became enforced, and you could no longer buy cheap alt accounts. Let's move on to the Golden Ball. The Golden Ball is a reforged stone that was introduced in update 0.11.4 on April 21st, 2021. 3 weeks after it was added to the game, only one player had obtained it. The admin Deuces tweeted this information out, launching the second most complicated investigation in Skyblock history. A community formed that used process of elimination to narrow down the possible methods. Eventually, the players Dawjaw and Casterboy looked at the item's data, and this revealed that you needed to fish up a Sea Emperor enemy and bring it to the Jake NPC. After that, Jake will give you the Golden Ball. However, this method had already been tried and was deemed to be impossible. Crash banners. Just weeks after Skyblock first released, TimeDeo received an anonymous tip about an item that could only be found in the secret Dark Auction event. This wasn't something that could be purchased at the Dark Auction, but was instead an item that could only be glitched into existence during the event. Dio joined the Dark Auction, escaped the underground chamber, and then used a glitch to acquire some of the banners that were used to decorate the NPC shops. These banners caused insane visual glitches and could even crash people's Minecraft accounts. Later on, the traveling zoo was added to Skyblock, which caused even more chaos. Rather than spawn in the hub, the traveling zoo booth spawned on the island of every single person who was online at the time, with the banners. So, these illegal banners became widely distributed, and the admins had to wipe them because of how dangerous they are. TimeDeo was able to place his on his island before that happened, and they're still visible there today. pit dupe. In early 2021, some Skyblock exploiters discovered a duplication glitch that involves chests in the crystal hollows. So you'd open up a chest, press F6, which would close the GUI in a strange way, then do some funky stuff, and the game would freak out and dupe your items. A couple of people figured out that this dupe could actually be done on the long-standing Hypixel game mode, The Pit. The Pit has been referred to as the oldest anarchy game mode on Hypixel because of the prevalence of cheaters and abusers. It had a massive IRL trading market, which makes duplication glitches super valuable. The reason I say it had a big IRL trading market is because these days the game mode is kind of dead. It's nearly impossible for new players to get started because the top players own overpowered mystics. As you can imagine, adding a duplication glitch into this mix caused all hell to break loose. Before we get to that though, let me tell you about the best way to have fun with The Pit. The way to do that isn't on Hypixel though, it's actually on harrys.gg, the sponsor of today's video. There, you can create any mystic within the limits of the real game. Start by logging in and going to the Mystic Well to choose whatever you want. Hop down into the middle to start farming, and be careful not to get jumped by other players. Do /give bread and give obsidian to get extra items, and you'll be off to the races. It's super simple to simulate a god fight without dishing out the fat stacks of cash you'd normally need to pay for that set. And there also isn't the problem of cheaters and b-hoppers here. Equip your perks and follow the mastery tree to upgrade mega streaks and unlock new ones. The Discord link is in the description. So, back to Hypixel though. When these exploiters learned they had a pit dupe, they knew they'd struck gold. If they joined the game, took items out of their ender chest, pressed F6, typed /watchdog report to then open a book in Quayle, the items would duplicate. One Skyblock exploiter sold this method for $4,000 to a pit player named Rezi. Rezi made millions off of cryptocurrency and has spent thousands and thousands of dollars on Minecraft. After Rezi bought the method, the Skyblock exploiter gave it to another pit player named Kaguru without charging anything. As Kag told me, Kaguru was mashing work behind the scenes and got the dupe from your boy for free. Then the God Squad mashed too much work. The God Squad, which Kag refers to, was a group of top-level pit players who duplicated hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of pit items. At the time, a sword with the rare enchant combination of Billionaire 3 Lifesteal 3 sold for $3,000 of real-life money. I'm serious. The God Squad created hundreds of these. Some other Skyblock players who knew the original exploit were also going ham. At some point, the dupe got leaked and the entire game devolved into complete chaos. Everyone and their mama was on the pit duping items. Bunny hoppers were hacking on people equipped with god sets worth tens of thousands of dollars, and the admins were forced to roll the entire game mode back a full 36 hours. This wouldn't be the last time Skyblock players caused total destruction on the pit. Rezi would keep his eye on the Skyblock scene, but you'll have to wait for that story. F7 Flybug. F7 refers to Floor 7, the final and most difficult floor of dungeons, which includes a parkour area. When Floor 7 first released, players realized the tarantula boots that normally give double jump were actually glitched and would grant unlimited flight, thus allowing them to fly through the parkour. A bunch of dungeons records were set using this bug before it was patched. Windcraft vs Skyblock. Windcraft was the biggest MMORPG in Minecraft before Hypixel Skyblock released. Windcraft is a massive world complete with quests, dungeons, skills, and its own economy. Windcraft has super impressive spells and game mechanics, all made in vanilla Minecraft. You just need their custom texture pack and you're good to go. A lot of people have compared Windcraft to Hypixel Skyblock because of their similar features. Technoblade, in his very first Skyblock video, joked,
"You spawn on your own island, you cut down a tree, you bridge over to the other island, and then you log into Windcraft."
Even today, with the massive success of Hypixel Skyblock, Windcraft consistently has over 1,000 players online. What's funny though is Windcraft's player count peaked when Hypixel was DDoSed and had to go into maintenance for a week. Up next is the dynamic pool error. For a while, when players jumped through a portal, they'd sometimes receive this error, as Hypixel was unable to find a server to send them to. The next entry is MegaCloon. MegaCloon is the alt account of MiniCloon, one of Skyblock's lead developers and administrators. Looking at MegaCloon on NameMC shows more than 250 skins of different Skyblock NPCs and items. If you're trying to recreate something in single player, MegaCloon might have the skin that you're looking for. Next up is NullHub. NullHub was a glitch community that was run in part by the exploiter Woodchuck. They were famous for creating an 18-player co-op that was eventually wiped. The co-op had tons of glitched and valuable items, including a dragon head, wither skeleton skull, creeper skull, zombie skull, creative mind, and a game breaker. Woodchuck made a video called The Story of NullHub, which featured some insane glitches. For context, ancient elevators are an item given out by admins for answering trivia questions. The admin MiniCloon gave some out, which NullHub subsequently duplicated. Chuck also showcased dealing 30 million damage, taking items out of GUIs, creating dragon eggs, getting 627 quadrillion health and 9 quintillion defense, duping game breakers, and doing all kinds of shenanigans. He even duped the crash banners from the previous entry. NullHub deserves its own video. Now let's move on to layer 2, as things get slightly more obscure and a little bit darker. We'll start with 2NFG Death. 2NFG was one of the richest players in Skyblock after he used an AFK method to earn roughly 300 million coins back in 2019. He then created a God Splash Discord called Bald Splashes, which netted him close to 4 billion coins. In August of 2021, 2NFG wanted to do a little trolling. He sent a fake message to some of his Discord friends saying that he had passed away due to the funny illness, and many people believed that 2NFG had died. At the same time, others were skeptical. Not too long after this, 2NFG emerged, and what do you know? He was not dead. This was a troll that got blown way out of proportion. 2NFG continues to be alive to this day, I think. Mega Co-op. Skyblock players can work together in co-ops, which have a max of 5 players. You can increase this to 8 by purchasing extra slots in the community shop, but exploiters have created co-ops which have upwards of 30 players. Before you could buy extra slots, NullHub created a 6-player co-op, then 10-player, then 13, and after this, NullHub, TimeDio, and some other exploiters created a massive YouTuber co-op. One of the methods had them send out co-op invites and then have multiple people accept by opening up a menu using player UUIDs. The YouTuber Mega Co-op was shut down when it was causing a lot of issues. YouTuber clickbait. This entry refers to every YouTuber on Hypixel Skyblock who clickbaits the crazy 5 million coin per hour money making strategy. Oh my god, you have to do it right now, with wild text. These types of videos have been around for years and often showcase different bizarre flips that stop working after an hour. These videos are generally pretty low effort and are frowned upon in the Skyblock community. Up next is the 2.147 billion coin Midas Sword. When the Dark Auction event was first added to Skyblock, a lot of people thought the Midas Sword was useless. It deals more damage the more coins you pay for it, up to 50 million coins. After TimeDio became one of the first players to pay 50 million for the sword, the community realized at its max level, the Midas is actually pretty good, and so the sword became the meta. As a joke, TimeDio later paid 1 billion coins for the sword to get views. He was successful, but this entry refers to 2.147 billion coins, the signed 32-bit integer limit. That is also the maximum amount of coins that anyone can bid on any Dark Auction item, before it goes into negative numbers. After that, the YouTuber Swavey spent 2.147 billion coins on both a Midas sword and a Midas staff to add to his museum collection. Oringo client. The Oringo client is a paid Hypixel Skyblock cheat client that has a bunch of features that help people illegally get ahead in the game. I personally wouldn't recommend using cheats such as these because you could very easily get banned, but we'll get to why in a little bit. Hail 9 is a Skyblock cheating client created by a player of the same name. Initially, Hail 9 was designed to automatically solve the terminal challenges located in dungeons, but later included features like macros for cycling through boomerangs and other cheats that helped in dungeons. Hail 9 ushered in an era of dungeon cheating clients. Thanofish. One of the earliest Skyblock updates was the fishing update. Before this, Skyblock fishing was very similar to vanilla, but this made it a lot more interesting. One of the things that was added to the game was baits, which would make it easier to catch cool items. The YouTubers 30virus and Fezzy joked that one of the baits, called the spiked bait, looked like Thanos.
Chat, tell me that's not a Thanos fish. Tell me that's not a Thanos fish.
Because it was purple and has a face. This became a big meme on 30's channel, and 2 years later, the mayor Dante took over. When players were electing the leaders of the resistance, of course, Technoblade won, but 30virus got second place. The Hypixel admins then asked all of the leaders of the resistance, except to an FG, what perk or item they wanted added to the game. 30virus requested a Thanofish talisman, and because of that, the Spiked Atrocity talisman was released. And so, the Thanofish was immortalized as an actually useful item, and is still sought after even to this day. Operation Mayhem. When the Jerry's Workshop Christmas event was released, there was a cave area off to the side that was closed. The cave mentioned an event called Operation Mayhem, which would be coming soon. This is likely a reference to the film Fight Club, where... actually, we don't talk about it. Anyway, Operation Mayhem was closed for maintenance, and years later it was replaced with the Glacial Cave. The Mayhem event itself was never added to the game, but the agents in the cave still talk about it. Zero with New Year Cake. So, New Year's cakes are a special item that are given out every Skyblock year by the Baker NPC. Each cake is marked with the year it was given, but for some reason there was a glitch during the year 71 of Skyblock. Rather than give a year 71 cake, the baker gave some players cakes for year 0. This item has since been blacklisted by the admins, so it'll disappear from your inventory after a couple of seconds. Some players did receive the 71st year cake as they should have. At the same time, some others received the 72nd year cake in error. I have no idea what happened in the code that caused this, but it did create a unique item which was later blacklisted. Please wait a bit before doing this. Back in the early days of Skyblock, please wait a bit before doing this, was a message the game would send when players tried to buy items from the NPC too quickly. This made it very annoying to buy items and craft them into their enchanted forms. Later, the bazaar was added, which fixed that problem. And now we're moving on to layer 3. And starting out with Addicted to CBT. Addicted to CBT is a Skyblock duper who is responsible for crashing the bazaar economy numerous times. He has a YouTube channel where he showcased various duplication glitches, as well as the cognitive behavioral therapy client that allows players to get crazy points in the Nether Update dojo. This CBT client was actually a rat. It took users' info and allowed Addicted to steal people's entire profiles. Addicted was the cause of some wild incidents, so you'll hear his name again in several of the later entries. Holy Dragon. In the Dragon Queen entry, I mentioned that there are 7 dragons in the game. However, there are 8 types of dragon armor. Those include Protector, Old, Wise, Unstable, Young, Strong, Superior, and Holy. Each of these sets is obtained by killing that respective dragon, except for Holy Armor. There is no Holy Dragon. This set can only be acquired by killing the Lost Adventurers in dungeons who drop Holy Dragon fragments. Those can be crafted into the armor. So this, with the Dragon Queen, is the second dragon in Skyblock lore that we know exists but cannot fight. Healing Bow. This entry refers to 2 things. The first is the Healing Bow dungeon item that can be used by ghosts to heal the players in the game who are still alive. For a while, it could be glitched out of dungeons and used in the hub. The second part of this entry refers to a YouTuber of the same name who used this glitched Healing Bow to snipe people like 30virus. By sniping, I mean using the Healing Bow to hit them into portals, because in the hubs it wouldn't actually do damage. The YouTuber Healing Bow has also showcased other glitches like null items and even made a video on the pit dupe I was talking about earlier. Unobtainable rarity. Skyblock items are classified into different rarity tags, including common, mythic, divine, special, and very special. The unobtainable rarity is exclusive to admin items that will not be given to players. These items might also have the admin rarity. Let's move on to Jerry Rune. Jerry Rune is a Skyblock YouTuber who's made videos about different Skyblock cheats. Not only has he showcased cheats, he's also uploaded dungeon cheating gameplay videos. At one point he got banned for accidentally toggling on Skyblock cheats while playing Bed Wars. On the topic of sus behavior regarding Skyblock, there's hypixelskyblock.net, our next entry. This is a website that was advertised by spam bots, which linked to a download for a Skyblock quality of life mod. These quality of life mods, like Skyblock add-ons, help a lot with the game, but the mod inside hypixelskyblock.net was actually a rat. Downloading it would give the owners of the website access to your account, and they'd use that information to log into your Skyblock profile and steal your items. They were even trying to sell a duplication glitch on the website a couple months ago. Next up is Fakepixel. Fakepixel is a clone of Hypixel Skyblock and has been around for over 3 years. They have dungeons, mayors, and the whole shebang. Fakepixel Skyblock has even had duplication glitches. If you joined without looking at the IP, I think you'd be pretty convinced. Still, why play Fakepixel when you can play a real pixel? Dream plays Skyblock. Everyone knows who Dream is, but not everyone knows that he's played Skyblock. The reason we know this is because he has a profile created. He's collected 2 fairy souls and has a whopping 35 coins in his purse. He also fell into the void 6 times. I imagine the chances of Dream making a Hypixel Skyblock video are the same as the number of kills he's gotten in Skyblock, 0. Super Red Hulk 1. This entry refers to a well-known collector of glitched items. One item glitch hunters collect is placeable heads, worth a lot. Red Hulk was part of Null Hub, and in Chuck's videos you can see all kinds of skulls: Steve's, Creeper, Zombie, Skeleton, Wither Skeleton, and even a dragon head. You can even see them placing down an Overflux power orb. Super Red Hulk had a very impressive collection of these skulls until he accidentally spilled water on his island, ruining them. After that, he quit. Alright, let's get deeper with Layer 4. Starting out with Lifesteal SMP. I'm sure most of the people watching this are aware of the Lifesteal SMP. It's one of the most popular Minecraft SMPs on YouTube. During one of their seasons, the YouTuber Spoke used an exploit to bring insanely overpowered items into survival Minecraft. These included some Skyblock items that he brought into vanilla. One of those items was the Hyperion. Spoke successfully destroyed the server and got a lot of views in the process. Next in Layer 4 is Skyblock devlogs. Early on in Skyblock's development, different admins posted blogs about how things were going. Minikloon is one such admin who, in one log, detailed how between June 11th, 2019 and June 24th, more than 1.73 million players had joined Skyblock. If you scroll down in this post, he has an area called Minecraft Region Format Pitfalls. That can't be a coincidence. Trolling Day. In September of last year, a forum user named Camo made a post with the title, "How do I deal more damage?" This was a ploy, as the first words in the post were, "You clicking on here means you probably answer questions on the forums a lot." Camo thus gave these forum sweats a mission: spread misinformation and propaganda to cause as much chaos as possible for 12 hours straight. This event, dubbed Trolling Day, was pretty successful. Forum users spread fake leaks from fake admin screenshots about the Wizard Tower, a long-anticipated feature. One player named TLA convinced people that he got wiped when he tried to /visit someone while being a dungeon's ghost. For the people who fell for any of these trolls, that's an L. Overchewed Detritus. The initial update that added Slayers to Skyblock included the Shredded Horror, Tarantula Broodfather, and Sven Packmaster. Players can summon Slayers all the way up to level 4, and after this update, it was rumored that the game would be getting more features, a Slayer V2 update. This rumor originated from different admin posts and leaked features. One of the features leaked was the Overchewed Detritus, an item that would be used to spawn in Tier 6 bosses. This was never added to the game, but more Slayers were, including Tier 5 of the Revenant Horror, Enderman Slayer, Blaze Slayer, and the Vampire Slayer. Next, Tia killed the fairies. One of the easiest ways Skyblock players can increase their stats is by talking to Tia the fairy, and finding fairy souls scattered throughout the different Skyblock islands. When these souls are brought back to her, Tia will grant you a bunch of stat buffs. But why are there so many fairy souls? Tia says they are the souls of my fallen sisters, but how did they die? Why is Tia the only fairy still alive? What makes this even stranger is if you fish in the pond right next to Tia, you can fish up fairy armor, the clothing that these fairies used to wear. The way Tia is so nonchalant about sending players out to collect the body parts of her fallen sisters, there is no way she didn't kill these fairies. She has blood on her hands, so by talking to her, you're associating with a murderer. Jerry Battle Royale. As Technoblade noted in his Potato War video, the Jerry NPC had the creepy feature of duplicating while on people's islands.
Okay, can we take a moment to talk about Jerry, alright? I got a Jerry here. I got a Jerry there. There's actually 2 Jerrys in there. I have video evidence, okay? Look at this. He's multiplying. He's undergoing mitosis. But that's not all. The other day I was just minding my business and then... why is he there?
This was finally patched in the 0.7.4 Foraging Island revamp update, where the admin Jay of Armin wrote, "Your Jerrys played Battle Royale, and only one is left, the best one." What this means is that the only thing that has the chance to kill Jerry is another Jerry.
When it was over, our population was cut in half. But what emerged from the ashes was unstoppable.
What this means is that Jerrys are actually social Darwinists. Next, never going pay to win. In the summer of 2019, when Skyblock dropped, Simon, the owner of Hypixel, made some promises. On June 12th, he tweeted, "Testing for Skyblock has now begun on our Minecraft server. It has no pay-to-win features and will not have any." Later on, he wrote, "Leaking Hypixel Skyblock plans. Never go pay-to-win, new dungeon system, boss fights, yada yada yada." A bit over a year after this, in response to the insane amount of IRL trading that was occurring in Skyblock, Hypixel made the decision to effectively sell coins to players. This was done when Hypixel added gems to the Hypixel store. Gems can be used to buy booster cookies on Skyblock, which can be sold for coins. So yeah, basically pay to win. It seems like Hypixel broke his promise, but looking at the rationale, I think it's pretty justified. With the revenue generated from the booster cookies, Hypixel has been able to increase their development team to make better Skyblock updates at a faster rate. After this, we have triple chests. If you /visit Timedio's island, you'll see he has a number of strange things on display. One of them is the crash banners from layer 1 of this iceberg. A second is ladders on cacti, which should not be possible. And a third is triple chests. I have no idea how these were created, but triple chests can be found in another part of Skyblock, the Crystal Hollows. When you go mining for powder in the Crystal Hollows, there's a chance that breaking a block will spawn a chest. The next block you break also has the chance of spawning a chest, creating a double chest. What's even less likely is for this to happen 3 times in a row. This has occurred, as No Engineer made a post about it on the Hypixel Skyblock subreddit. The artifact rarity. As I mentioned before, Skyblock items are classified into different rarities. Before Dungeons was released, the admins accidentally leaked that there would be a new rarity, artifact. This was shown when a player took a screenshot of an item on the auction house and posted it to the forums. The forums hypothesized that this would have to be a part of the up-and-coming Dungeons update, but another forum user analyzed the image and saw it was edited. There is no artifact rarity in Skyblock, and there never was. This was all a big hoax. While hoaxes are kind of funny, this next entry is just tragic. That's the Binner handle. The final boss of the final floor of Dungeons, Necron, has the small chance to drop a handle. These handles, which are used to craft the most powerful weapons in the game, are worth roughly 500 million coins. One of the mayors on Skyblock, named Derpy, disables the auction house, And when this happened, the YouTuber Binner realized that the price of Necron's handles would likely change, and he could potentially profit a lot of money. Even though the auction house was closed, Binner reasoned that people still would have been running dungeons. They just wouldn't have been able to sell their drops. As a result, it would be quite likely that when Derpy left office, the auction house would be flooded with Necron handles. Binner knew he might be able to snag one for a lower price, wait for the prices to rise again, and then make some profit. When the auction house reopened, Binner saw the handles were selling for much less than usual, and bought one for 420 million coins. After the price jumped to 500 million, Binner went to the auction house to sell his handle. Unfortunately, he would make a fatal error. He forgot to change his auction house settings. Binner accidentally set a buy it now order of 500 coins. Someone immediately bought the handle for that price, profiting 500 million coins. Binner, of course, lost all that money, and in terms of top 10 Skyblock tragedies, this is definitely one of them. The portal in the Howling Caves. In the park area, there's a section called the Howling Caves, which have a bunch of wolves. If you use X-Ray or Replay mod, you can see a hidden portal there. Where does it go? Viltrum? I don't know, but this might be a feature that's added in a future update. Herbalism skill. Skyblock has tons of skills, including farming, mining, combat, foraging, fishing, and enchanting. On July 16th, 2019, Simon teased that there would be an herbalism skill as well. This was never added and remains in the long list of features that Hypixel ultimately decided weren't right for Skyblock. With that, let's move on to Layer 5, where the entries get more obscure and darker. Let's begin with the missed a colon incident. Remember when I warned not to use hacked clients because it usually doesn't end well? Well, this entry illustrates exactly why. In December of 2022, more than 2,000 people were banned from Hypixel because they were using the Erang hacked client. Supposedly, the developers messed up and mistyped some of the code. Just one colon was missing, but this flaw in the code meant that the cheats were no longer hidden from Hypixel. Hypixel's cheat detection system immediately banned all of these players instantly. So 2,000 people got banned because a single character was missing from the code. So yeah, just don't take that risk. The next entry we've got is The Oats. The Oats was a Discord server from way back in the day that was dedicated to finding glitches. Anyone could join, but they would have to showcase glitches they discovered in order to earn the trust of members that were higher up. The Oats was led by Woodchuck, and some of the players later went on to form NullHub. I actually joined the server in 2019 and showcased a fake duplication glitch. I think I ended up convincing some people because one guy told me he attempted to recreate the dupe for more than 45 minutes with no success. 4 years later, that's still funny to me. The great dupe of 2022. In August of the year 2022, addicted to CBT, the duper from Layer 3 found a duplication glitch with profile swapping. He abused this as much as possible to get 15 hypermaxed accounts. A hypermaxed account is an account with max stats and max gear. Of course, it takes a long time to get max stats, but that assumes you're playing legit. If you dupe purple Jerry boxes, which Addicted did, you can get the top level stats in less than a day using macros. So, Addicted had 15 of these accounts, each with over 1 trillion coins on them. The biggest of the accounts had more than 10 trillion coins. At some point though, someone who knew the duplication glitch crashed the bazaar, which alerted the admins, and all of the hypermaxed accounts got wiped. This had major repercussions for the economy, but things seem to have calmed down since then. At least, that is until the next incident. The Kudra Mandible doesn't exist. After the hunt for the golden ball ended, the admin Deuces teased that there would be another, far more difficult hunt in the Nether update. This was the hunt for the Kudra Mandible. The investigation was so time-consuming and mind-bogglingly difficult that after a while, a number of mandible hunters gave up hope and simply thought, the Kudra Mandible doesn't exist. It took several months before the mandible itself was discovered, and that whole investigation is well documented by Hypixel. Limbo Portal. The Rift is one of the biggest features that has recently been added to Skyblock, and it's accessed by jumping into the portal in the Wizard Tower. Before the rift existed, jumping into that wizard portal had a small chance of sending you to Limbo. Limbo is the backrooms of Hypixel, a liminal space between lobbies. When you were sent to Limbo, your player was alerted with the message, "New area discovered," with the tagline, "Not much here." Of course, this was removed when the rift itself was added. Next up, Rock Pet No Clip. Rocks are one of the pets of all time in Skyblock, and for a while you could use them to mine through blocks and even build in the hubs, which normally you're not allowed to do. This glitch though is only client-side and could only technically be done by YouTubers who had Watchdog disabled. On the topic of strange glitches, we've got the next entry, 1 trillion defense. There have been a number of glitches that have enabled players to get practically unlimited defense. One such exploit involved pet stacking. Pet stacking is a glitch that enables a player to have multiple pets equipped at the same time. Some pet stack combinations are deadly, like the blue whale and the elephant pet. The blue whale gives extra defense for every 20 hearts a player has, and the elephant gives extra hearts for every 10 defense the player has. In combination with one another, the effects are multiplied, until your health and defense are so large that the server doesn't know what to do with you. Another way this was done was using sponge armor. Sponge armor doubles your defense while in water, and switching the helmet on and off for a while, super quickly, would cause your defense to double every time, and this effect stacked, so if you did it enough, you'd have infinite defense. A third method to get infinite defense was with shark scale armor, which operated the same way sponge armor did, since shark scale armor also doubles defense while in water. Admin hijacked party. Hypixel admins have the ability to hijack parties of players. This means they join and take over as leader. Allegedly, in 2022, the admin doctor hijacked a party and warned players not to Pearl spam. I say allegedly because these screenshots could easily be faked, but admins hijacking parties is something they have done in the past. And now down to layer 6. Here we are. 90% of endgamers are cheaters. This entry refers to the insane number of Skyblock endgame players who hack. Shady Add-ons is a popular cheating client, and at one point they reported that 40% of all players at Catacombs level 50 used their client. Since Shady Add-ons isn't the only cheating client, you can confidently say that more than half of all Skyblock players are cheaters, and the true percentage is likely even higher than that. This is especially pertinent when you include the numbers from boosting, IRL trading, macroing, and other types of cheats. Honestly, the pit is the exact same way. More than 90% of all the maxed out players have cheated to get there, and I can be confident that that percentage is accurate. They duplicated items, abused exploits, hacked, IRL traded, or performed any combination of those illegal activities. Melon Dungeons. Dungeons was one of the most anticipated features to be added in Skyblock, but before it was released, players were desperate to learn anything about it. At one point, some players chatted with the build team member Cheesy, who was partly responsible for building the Dungeons maps. Cheesy very dramatically teased that Dungeons will contain blocks, but it will also contain air. Cheesy went on to say that Dungeons has a chance of consisting of only melon blocks. When asked how big that chance was, he said it's at least 5.375373839%. Up next, the secret elite Discord. There is a dark conspiracy. All of the richest Skyblock players and cheaters are working together to get rich, and they communicate in a secret elite Discord. Is there any evidence of this? Not really. However, I Go By Lots of Names did describe a Discord server called the Circle of Guilds, which had the leaders of every top guild in the game at the time, including Trouble Brewing, Money Moves, and Lost in Space. I Go By Lots of Names didn't mention anything about this Discord being used for profit, but there's always the possibility that there is one out there. Oof, some dark stuff here. Next, double death white bugs have been intentional. Double death is a bug that was in both Skyblock and the pit for years. This occurred when your player got a vanilla death at the same time that you died in Skyblock. meaning you are hit to exactly 0 health. This would show the respawn screen, but clicking respawn or title screen caused your inventory to get wiped. Double death was around for so long that players were starting to get suspicious. Hundreds of players lost everything, and yet the Hypixel team did nothing to patch the glitch. The theory goes that the bugs were actually intentionally coded by the admins to deflate the economy by randomly wiping players. I doubt this is true. There are other ways to deflate the economy, but it is strange how long it took the admins to fix this game-breaking glitch that likely caused a number of players to quit the game entirely. September 2009. The Viking NPC, which is located in the park, will lament about when he last saw the sea. The dates he gives point to the month of September 2009. What happened in September of 2009 that forced this Viking away from the ocean? We don't know. September 2009 was when creepers were first added to Minecraft, but we don't actually know if this has any connection to the Viking. So, what happened? Will we ever find out? Maybe not now, but we can move on to Kudra's Eye. The forum user Camo, responsible for the big trolling day back in 2022, created another hoax, the hunt for the Kudra Eye. This was wrapped in the hunt for the Kudra Mandible. Camo, Jetplane Enjoyer, and other forum users conspired to convince people that there was another special item called Kudra's Eye that was part of the investigation for the Mandible. As it was revealed, this was a big hoax. Jetplane Enjoyer wrote, "It was fun bamboozling everyone though, especially Pumpkin's Horseman believing us and arguing for its existence." Pumpkin's Horseman is actually the guy who made the iceberg this iceberg was inspired by, so shout out to him. Mega Jerry. The Mega Jerry lure is a legendary island that was spotted in an admin's inventory. Its description reads, "Used to summon the Mega Jerry." What is the Mega Jerry? I don't know. Do I want to know? Not really. For the final entry in this layer, we have the Great Dupe of 2023. This is another dupe which Addicted to CBT is responsible for. I'm not even going to pretend to know how this dupe worked, but I am playing a clip of it on screen. Addicted duplicated and sold Chimera 5 books to top players. Whenever these dupes occur, these people take advantage no matter the circumstances. One player even started duping while at the airport. Yikes. Anyway, Addicted planned to do a lot of damage, but the dupe was patched when the person who had originally discovered it sold the method to coin shops for $100 each. Of course, with so many people knowing the method, at some point it's bound to get leaked or reported. And so it was. Nearly every single duper got wiped, but there are some stashes that survived. Now we'll move on to layer 7, the final, darkest, deepest layer of the Hypixel Skyblock Iceberg. To begin, Time Dio duped game annihilators. So, game breakers are items given to players for finding game-breaking exploits, like duplication glitches. However, Time Dio and the player quality assurance team, basically the Avengers of glitch hunting, found 20 dangerous exploits in a week. Because they had been receiving so many game breakers, the admins created a new special item called the Game Annihilator. Time Dio was given a Game Annihilator to share among the PQA members, but some weeks after this, the rest of the PQA showed up with Game Annihilators as well. It's obvious this group has the capabilities and know-how to dupe this item, and it definitely would have been in their self-interest. I heard rumor that someone offered 3 billion coins in exchange for an annihilator. So did they duplicate these? No. This was just Hypixel's reward for them finding so many game-breaking exploits. Now, Time Dio himself is an admin, and he doesn't have to use duplication glitches to duplicate game annihilators. He can simply go into creative mode and do it himself. Next, the Hypixel lawsuit. I previously brought up IRL trading, where players buy and sell coins for real-life money. Early on in Skyblock, one of the biggest places this illegal commerce would occur was on a website called MC Market. MC Market is a forum for people selling video game stuff, and it had a thriving section devoted to Hypixel Skyblock. Players advertised their coins as well as scripts and macros there. However, at some point, the entire section was taken down, potentially because of legal pressure from Hypixel. Hypixel may have threatened a lawsuit, which would cause anyone to get real serious real quick. There are rumors of Hypixel filing lawsuits against other people, but I haven't seen much evidence of that. One guy did say he was going to bring a class action lawsuit against Hypixel because they banned him and thus violated his free speech rights, but that didn't go anywhere. Oof, Minikloon was doxxed. Minikloon is one of the most active Skyblock developers, but he's also the man who created the pit. In December 2020, I and many other players were using a bread duplication glitch on the pit, and Minikloon had to step in. He did, patching the dupe, and at the same time changed some major features of the pit. These changes were so hated that some pit players doxed Minikloon. They posted his name, phone number, and address on the internet. Supposedly someone even drove to his house and took a picture of it, all because they're mad about an update. And people wonder why I quit playing Pit. On the topic of dark topics, no child NPCs. Have you ever looked around Skyblock and noticed there are no children? The only small humanoid creatures are the Kalhuki younglings, which are enemies. All of Skyblock's NPCs are grown up, except for minions, child slaves. What happened in Skyblock's history that all the adults have unlimited resources and live life in luxury, and the children are enslaved to work forever? This paints a very dark history about Skyblock's past. The dark Skyblock lore doesn't end there though, because up next is mayors have a satanic cult. Maybe part of what happened had to do with the mayors. The room above the mayors is incredibly creepy, and it looks like a place they'd do rituals. I can't be certain about that one though. To bring things back to information that is more verified, we have Pogsol. Let me tell you a story. On November 27th, 2021, the day after Skyblock's biggest gemstone crash, the players Dafty and 2NFG booted up the game with one goal in mind: eliminate the richest players in Skyblock. They logged onto a dupe stash with about 1 trillion coins. Before they sold their stash to absolutely obliterate the bazaar, they placed signs on their islands with a simple message: wipe Pogsol. But who is Pogsol? Well, Pogsol is maybe the richest account to ever play Skyblock. For the past 2 years it was part of the community, there was not one moment when it had less than 1 trillion coins. Pogsol is an account owned by Addicted to CBT, and initially he boosted it with the brewing stand duplication glitch. This was a dupe that could replicate any item that could be put into an alchemy stand, the most valuable of those being enchanted sugarcane, enchanted blaze rods, and enchanted gold blocks. To do the dupe, you'd enter the bazaar's UI, try to buy something, use a mod to cancel packets, enter the alchemy stand's GUI, take the item out of the stand, and then refresh the alchemy stand using another account. This caused the brewing stand to freak out and would thus duplicate items super quickly. Now, I'm not fully certain about if what I told you was true, so I might have just spread misinformation and propaganda on the internet. Anyway, what matters is the brewing stand duplication glitch allowed Addicted to duplicate. So using that and gemstone crashes, he was able to gather immense wealth on the Pogsol account. There have been a number of gemstone crashes in Skyblock history, situations where someone dupes tons of gemstones and then sells them to the bazaar. Pogsol set cheap buy orders for gemstones, so whenever the price crashed, he'd have a whole bunch of gemstones to resell and get rich off of. At one point, Addicted was offered $8,000 for the account, an offer he turned down. Pogsol even grinded out Slayers with the admin Skiers. In this screenshot with Darky, Pogsol has 35 billion coins in the purse, while Darky had 40 billion. After creating a ginormous stash and holding more than 10 trillion coins worth of items with the great dupe of 2022, and then selling 250 billion coins to the Wildism coin shop, Pogsol got wiped while holding the #1 net worth across all of Skyblock. Addicted had another account named Pogsol with no underscore that was supposedly legit. This account got banned when it got onto the purse leaderboard. The admins wiped it, potentially because of its name and association with the original Pogsol, the Duper, and Menace. That brings us to the final entry in this iceberg, maybe the wildest story I have ever told on this channel. And it all starts with Rezi. Who is Rezi? Rezi is the man who spent $4,000 to buy the Watchdog Report F6 pit duplication glitch in April 2022. 5 months after that happened, a workaround to the /report dupe was found in Skyblock. A couple Skyblock exploiters joined the pit to test it, and it worked. So, once again, Rezi spent another $4,000 to buy the dupe. The dupe was basically the exact same as last time, but with a different command. Rather than /report someone, you type a different command, /socialmid. One Skyblock player joined the pit to do the dupe and accidentally typed out the command in chat, causing some pit players to figure out what was going on. After just 18 hours, the dupe was patched, likely because someone leaked or reported it. Still though, Rezi and his friends went ham until that happened. A couple months later, Rezi quit the game. He had lost too many items to glitches and grew frustrated with how cheater-infested the pit is, so he gave his $50,000 god set to a friend of his. 2 months later, Rezi got a message from that friend saying they found a duplication glitch. Once again, a Skyblock exploiter had joined the pit and found a working dupe. And once again, Rezi offered $4,000. This time though, he offered to pay $600 a week as long as the dupe stayed active. He and his friends then created the best items in the game, many enchant combinations that had never been seen before. They stashed this stuff on brand new accounts with MVP++ that couldn't be traced. Or at least that's what Rezi thought. He spent over $1,000 buying ranks for these new accounts, but Rezi's associate was actually buying the alts off someone else, when he should have been buying direct from Mojang. At some point though, Minikloon released a new update which patched the duplication glitch without even realizing it. Even though the dupe was patched, Rezi and his friends still have tons of duped items. They put some of those items on their main accounts, started going ham, fighting people in the pit, but then they got wiped by the staff team. Rezi told me the admins had no proof those items were duplicated to begin with, since each one was unique. If that wasn't crazy enough, the staff team then went full Thanos mode and wiped close to 40 accounts. This included innocent players who didn't even know they had duped items. Those items were sourced from some of the pit's previous duplication glitches. Even after getting wiped though, Rezi still thought everything was chill, since the dupers had roughly $300,000 worth of pit items in their stashes. But then, the guy Rezi's associate was buying the alts from pulled the accounts, stealing those hundreds of thousands of dollars of items. In my opinion, that was a pretty unintelligent move, since the game is pretty dead, and Rezi is the only person in the past 2 years who has actually paid real money for pit items. At the moment, Rezi is still trying to sort out that situation. And while this is a Skyblock iceberg, I thought this story was too crazy to not include. Shout out to Pumpkin's Horseman for his help, and play harrys.gg for a cool pit experience.